That's Mrs. Tourism Globe 2023.
Joining Sir Yvette Recalde, presenting the award are Miss Global Philippines 2019, Ara Adriano, Mrs. Noble Queen Universe, Lady Patricia Alvier, and Mr. Lito de Guzman.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Mrs. Tourism Globe 2023 is Mrs. Phil UAE.
Moving on, we are now going to announce who our Mrs. Tourism Earth for 2023 is.
Joining Sir Yvette Recalde, presenting the award are Mrs. Tourism Earth 2023, Mrs. Coco Play, Dr. John Seneca, and Max Kuwe.
Mrs. Tourism Earth is Mrs. Singapore.
Mrs. Singapore, thank you so much to our lovely presenters. Now we move on to the next award, our next title, Mrs. Tourism International 2023.
Joining Sir Yvette Recalde, presenting the award are Business Development Manager Sonia Banwa, Mrs. Tourism International 2017 Dr. Riza Caldoza, and Mr. Tourism World 2023 James Gabriel Abisamis.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Mrs. Tourism International is Mrs. America.
This is America, and thank you so much to our presenters. We move on to our next title, Mrs. Tourism World 2023.
Joining Sir Yvette Recalde, presenting the award are Mr. World Noble King Philippines 2021, Lester Paul Restiendo, Miss Max Kuwe, and Dr. Risa Oben Dormiendo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Mrs. Tourism World 2023 is Mrs. USA!
And we will now announce our Mrs. Tourism Universe for 2023.
Joining Sir Buffet Ricardo, presenting the award are Mrs. Tourism Universe 2022, ang kanang Shakira Bumrumsor, Mrs. Tourism Universe 2019, Giselle Marion, and Miss Universe Official 2023, Amy Edralin Kragun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Music Museum, are you ready? Mrs. Tourism Universe 2023 is Mrs. It's a back-to-back week win for Thailand this year.
That is right.
Miss Universe and Tennessee.
But remember, again, we still have one crown, the queen of all queens. As we say, the Mrs. Tourism, the Queen Mother.
For 2023.
Yes.
Alright, congratulations, Mrs. Thailand! Thank you so much to our presenters. Now we are going to announce our new Mrs. Tourism, the Queen Mother for 2023. And as Autumn mentioned, this is the Queen of all queens.
Joining Sir Buffet Ricardo, presenting the award are Mrs. Tourism, the Queen Mother 2022, Mrs. Jacqueline Johnson Mochinaga, Lee Tran, and Miss Lady Patricia Javier.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Mrs. Tourism, the Queen Mother 2023 is Mrs. South Africa! The winners of this year's Mrs. Tourism 2023 Queens, we would like to say thank you once again to our online audience, our live audience here in Music Museum, our dear judges, our beautiful new queen Patricia Javier and Dr. Riza. Thank you very much to the national directors, the makeup artists, the handlers, and
That's right, and thank you also to all the sponsors, to everyone who supports and loves Mrs. Tourism Pageant. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. To everyone who is here, thank you all so much for keeping the energy up
Yes.
until the announcement of our winners. Thank you all so much.
And of course, let's not forget our friends from the International Pageant Media. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable time and keeping up until this time.
And for taking wonderful pictures.
Yes.
of